So in this video we are looking at factoring expressions, so basically looking for common factors in the terms of our expressions and being able to factor those out. So for example, if we were looking at 18 plus 30, we could identify our greatest common factor of 18 and 30. Remember, there are a couple ways to identify the greatest common factor. We could list factors for 18 and 30. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. And identifying 6 as our greatest common factor here. Alternatively, we could use prime factorization. So we've got 18. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 times 3 is 6. So our prime factorization of 18 would be 2 times 3 times 3. And for 30, 5 times 6, 2 times 3. So our prime factorization for 30 would be 2 times 3. And again, to identify the greatest common factor using prime factorization, we can identify all of the shared factors. So they each have 1, 2, and 1, 3. And we know that 2 times 3 is 6. So there are two ways of identifying our greatest common factor. So in this case, we know that 6 is our GCF. So we could factor that out, right? We know that 6 times 3 is 18. And 6 times 5 is 30. So we could rewrite this as 6 times 3 plus 5. Okay, now doing this with an algebraic expression. Okay, so we have 3x, or 3 times x, plus 42. Okay, now if we were to list out all of these factors or do the prime factorization, we would find that 3 is our greatest common factor here. So we could again factor out this 3. We know that 3 times x is equal to 3x, and 3 times 14 is equal to 42. So we could write 3 times x plus 14. Okay, you'll notice this is basically going in the opposite direction of our distributive property, where if we were to use the distributive property, 3 times x is 3x, plus 3 times 14 is 42. So we're just going the opposite direction when we're factoring here. So another example, we have 63z minus 27y. So again, you could list out all of your factors here. You may even be able to identify on your own that 9 is our greatest common factor. We know that 9 times 7 is equal to 63. So this would be 9 times 7z minus 9 times 3 is 27, so 3y. So we have 9 times 7z minus 3y.